Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
And right now there's new scrutiny for a key component of testing in the U.S. as the coronavirus pandemic continues. Antibody tests help determine if you've had the virus, but there are serious questions about whether they work. One researcher described the accuracy as, quote, really terrible. But Aggie Ingenuity is back trying an old vaccine as a new solution. Take a look.
Antibody testing to check for past infection. Officials have said these tests are critical to reopening the economy. But there are concerns many of them don't work very well.
The problem is that these are tests that need to be validated and calibrated. And many of the tests out there don't do that.
So scientists in California, including at the Chan Zuckerberg Biohub, decided to see how are they working. Out of the 12 tests they looked at, several had frequent false positives. One got false positives more than 15% of the time. 3 others, false positives more than 10% of the time or more. One of the researchers calling these results really terrible. Last month, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration relaxed their standards for these tests, allowing them to be sold without submitting any data showing that they work. For weeks, the FDA and other federal agencies have been saying they'll figure out which tests work best, but the FDA telling CNN they have nothing to share on this effort. While government scientists try to work this out, doctors at Texas A&M announcing they're going to start a clinical trial of a 100-year-old tuberculosis vaccine. It can help boost the immune system, and they hope it will work for COVID-19.
Sometimes we've found that an old drug, one that we've used for years, can serve a new purpose.
An advantage of old drugs for new purposes, they've been used before, so doctors know a lot about their safety profile. Hundreds of millions of doses of the BCG vaccine are given every year, mostly in developing countries. A disadvantage, since it wasn't designed specifically for COVID-19, it might not work for COVID-19, and it could be harmful to some.
It seems a bit of a stretch, but it's very novel, and desperate times demand desperate measures. It's worth a clinical trial.
In the end, it could be a combination of old and new drugs that get us out of this pandemic.
We need a multi-pronged approach because we need help here, and we need to go down every trail, investigate every possibility.
And those developments coming as the number of coronavirus cases in the U.S. topped 1 million this last week. All right, as the number of coronavirus cases rise, so is the interest in the healthcare field. KTAB's Jessica Rank explains how Abilene is preparing for the surge of those interested in the healthcare field.
While things may seem quiet over at Texas Tech here in Abilene, work still continues.
It's not the norm of our last semester, you know.
Joe Gomez looking at just his certification tests as the last box on his checklist.
It's a little different.
But this year, ending class early isn't the only change these students are facing.
Seeing how different parts of the world need more nurses and more help and stuff, that brings us a kind of like a hunger to go out and help out even our community even more.
And as Dr. Pearl Merritt says, that seems to be the same for most students, no matter the grade.
I have had emails saying that it makes them so glad they're in nursing and re-emphasizes why they went into nursing.
And while that excitement holds true for the current students, it's also trickling down into those who are still waiting.
We usually have to turn away a lot of students
for the chance to sit in these seats.
Nursing has always been the most trusted profession. It's always been number one. And now that people are seeing how heroic they are, it only emphasizes why nursing is number one.
And what a lot of it boils down to is the coronavirus isn't just bringing more awareness to the field, but it's also giving those who have an interest the opportunity.
What better way to talk about the subject than what's going on around you?
To learn something new. In Abilene, with coverage you can count on, Jessica Rank, KTAB News.
Kudos to those nurses. Great job. Dr. Merritt says while she could see more applications in the fall, it's also going to depend on the students' ability to pay for their schooling. Just sitting around during the COVID-19 lockdown, maybe getting old. At least that's what the mayor of Stanford is hoping. So that's why he's urging folks to get active and get involved. Take a look.
Picking up that empty soda can or chip bag off the side of the road.
I was thinking about different ways that folks could get fresh air, get exercise, because, you know, even if we're having to stay at home, fresh air is healthy.
And filling up some trash bags just got more lucrative for some Stamford residents.
It's $1,100. We're actually going to pay out 10 places, so I will calculate who brings the most bags of trash back. And
Mayor of Stamford, James Deckard, says while COVID-19 may have shut many of us indoors, trash is still continuing to accumulate.
The day before Easter, Saturday, I was just walking down a road near my house, and just frankly just got a little annoyed at seeing Coke cans and beer cans and bottles and other trash on the side of the road. And
to kill two birds with one stone, James initiated a cleanup event while also giving local restaurants a chance to get some feet in the doors during a time when visitors are sparse.
I was already thinking of ways that we could maybe drive more traffic to our restaurants and encourage get some cash flowing through those businesses. And I thought, well, if we had it as a competitive prize, then that would make people even encourage them to utilize those restaurants even more.
Mayor Deckard says before you go on your walk, stop by his office Monday through Friday between 9 and 5 on the north side of the square.
They can sign their name on the sign-in sheet on the table, or they can call me or message me or text me.
In Abilene, with coverage you can count on, Kevin Clack, KTAB News.
The competition ends May 8th with a $250 prize to local restaurants. We're back in 2 minutes.